Hello, all. Welcome back to What's On Tonight, a podcast with elaborate, quirky, and unpredictable conversations about TV, movies, and more. I'm Becky.
And I'm Mandy.
Tonight, we have with us another very special guest. We have Hansford Prince, who played the always entertaining, sandwich loving Earl on the Pitt, and he's here with us. Welcome.
Hey,
Woo!
thank you for having me on your show. I'm just very honored. Thank you.
We are so excited to have you with us and to get a chance to talk to you. So this will be fun.
Yeah, as Becky mentioned, Earl was a big favorite of ours, so this is a
Wow.
huge honor.
Thank you so much. Yeah, he's touched a lot of people. That's like been one of the really surprising things about playing this character, because you never know, is how much he's touched people's hearts and how many people just love him. I'm like,
Yeah,
wow. I thought he was kind of maybe people were going to think he was sort of tone deaf, standoffish, and because he's kind of not really. He's lost some social graces, let us say. So he's not really a social person. So he's a little bit socially awkward. But the staff all know him so well, I guess, and everybody just people were like, "I have an uncle like that. I like that."
I honestly thought of myself like I feel like Earl
Wow.
has been me in the when
Wow.
I think we've all been stuck in a hellish situation in a waiting room.
Yeah.
And I'm not a pleasant person when I'm hungry. So just like
Right.
the fact that that was his priority was getting
Yeah.
fed, that to me, I mean, that really honestly, if they handed out sandwiches in my ER, I'd feel a lot better about.
I never related to someone more than I did Earl, where I
Yeah.
was like, give me the sandwich. Just give me a sandwich.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And I don't want no egg salad on it either, which I agree. Like, I hate egg salad and stuff. So I'm
Do
in
you?
agreement with him. Yes.
Oh, that's funny. I love it.
You do?
You
Oh,
know, that's
wow.
funny. Like, I was gonna kind of try to see if I could wedge that question in, Hansford, because I do like egg salad, but it depends on who makes it.
Oh, it's got to be homemade or like from a very good deli.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get one out of a gas station.
Oh God, no. Not if you want to live. Now, my husband loves mine. He has me make it all the time, but I think mine is so bland because he doesn't like pickles. So we don't put pickles or anything in it. And
Ew,
I'm constantly,
no.
it just tastes bland.
My Earl doesn't like it. It doesn't fill me up. Think about it. He wants the meat on
And it's
there. He doesn't
mushy.
want that. Yeah, it's mushy. It doesn't fill you up. I want meat.
Yeah, that's funny. Well,
Yeah.
again, I really identified personally with him. Not that I've been to the ER a whole lot of times, but I've been
Right.
often enough that it's obnoxious when you're sitting there forever and you start getting hangry.
Sure is.
So I'm going to jump into our first question.
Okay.
What made you, and this is a question that I just find so interesting to ask all you guys, what made you decide that you wanted this as your career path?
Oh, wow. Nice. I think maybe kind of when I was a kid, because I really loved, like most kids, television shows. And like you guys should know, I grew up in the golden age of television. So
Mm-hmm.
as a kid, I was watching the shows, even if they were reruns, from the 70s. And that was kind of the golden age, especially of like sitcoms, things like that. Dallas was the first show, kind of like the Pitt, or it was the first super show that everybody was a
Oh,
show
yeah.
called Dallas.
Yep.
And we watched it as a family.
I said, who shot JR?
Oh, yeah, exactly. Who Shot JR, baby? Was the number one. It was like the lead story in the New York Times or something. I mean, it was crazy.
I was about 5 or 6 years old and I still vividly remember it.
Same.
Yeah.
All my siblings and I had t-shirts and
You had to Who Shot JR
yeah.
t-shirts. So what happened for me is that basically I think that I also have a type of personality. I was a talkative kid. So my reputation got out a little bit as a kid as being entertaining because I would literally talk too much and entertain classes. I'd have everybody laughing. So some lady came to our class and they said she was an educator and she was going to show this film. And she showed us an educational film, I remember, on purpose. and it was terrible. So what did I do? I just clowned it. And
Oh, wow.
my regular teacher didn't stop me. The more I did it, I was like, I couldn't believe she was letting me do this, a free pass.
What a good teacher.
And I just had everybody in stitches. It was just so funny. It was just such a terrible educational movie. Like, what
Yeah.
is this? True story. At the end of this, she said, okay, it was just time for recess. They timed it out. Everyone could go out to recess but Hansford. I
Uh-oh.
said, oh my God, this is a educator for some other school, a principal or something. I'm probably in really big trouble right now for running my big mouth. So my teacher said, hey, I want to introduce this lady, Miss something Robinson or something. She's a she's not an educator, she's actually a talent scout. Do you know what that is? I was in the 5th grade. Of
Wow.
course, I did not know what a talent scout was. I didn't know.
Right.
I barely knew how to define talent in the 5th grade. Let alone, I thought a scout was somebody who scouted for the army in the Civil War, and all that.
Yeah.
So, and they said, well, yeah, she works with actors and, she looks for people to act. And so she said, well, let me explain it to him. So she tried to explain to me this thing about she heard that I was this great kid from her son who was in the class. I knew who he was. I was like, yeah. Oh, that's her son? Yeah, he's a cool kid. And then she was like, yeah, we look for kids like you. And, this is like a company called Harcourt Brace Jovanovich. They were a publishing company, but they had an educational film aspect of it that Francis Ford Coppola was running at the time. And this was a little bit before Apocalypse Now. So
Wow.
Wow.
none of that meant anything to me in the 5th grade. Okay, I don't even know, had no idea what she was talking about. And she said, I think you're great, you're wonderful and all this. Can I call your mother and tell her this? And I'm thinking, gee, can this white woman call my mother and tell my mother how great a kid I was in school? I mean, hell yeah, you can call my mother and tell her that. Are you kidding me? Please call her and tell her that. She's been hearing that I'm bad in school. I need somebody like you to tell her. And again, I went back to she was an educator. I didn't know talent scout. So an educator, a principal is going to tell my mother. So the teacher said, well, Hansford, yeah, you can go out to recess. And I looked, and I had only been talking to them maybe about 2 minutes. And I was like, wow, I get the whole recess. I ran out the door and completely forgot about it. Everybody said, what happened? And I said, nothing. And they were like, Tag, you're it. Forgot all about it. And about a week later, my mother, called me with that you're in trouble voice. Hansford. I was like, oh my God, what did I do now? Was it that window I broke? Was it that? What did you find out about? I didn't know. And she was like, did some lady talk to you in school about acting or something? I'm like, no, because I was taught not to talk to strangers. And she said, well, didn't this lady say you were great and how you were? I was like, oh, that lady, yeah. And she said, why didn't you tell me about it? I said, I don't know, I forgot. So basically, they liked me. They wanted to sign me to a contract. So I signed with Hardcore Brace Jovanovich at $40 an hour. That was the rate.
In the 70s.
Yeah, in the 70s.
Wow.
It was crazy doing voiceovers. I did albums. I did all this stuff. And you had to take drama in school. That was one of the requirements. So you had to be a kid who was in a school that actually had drama. I was in Berkeley, California. So we had drama. So I took drama and I kind of got out of doing the hardcore brace thing, dropped everything in about the 9th grade because I wanted to play football and do all that kind of stuff. And then I ended up getting back into it as an adult.
That is one of the most amazing stories I have ever heard.
Really? It is? Wow.
Yeah.
As far as like getting into acting, most people they want it. This is what they decide they want to do. It literally found you by being blessed with a great teacher who noticed your talent. That's incredible.
Yeah, nice lady. Yes.
I did a educational film, Becky. Just FYI, that's something you've probably never known about me.
I did
I
not
did
know
one for
that.
Vanderbilt. Yeah, my one line was, "This stain is never going to come out."
That's awesome.
Yeah, just as an FYI. Anyway,
Those are the hardest lines, the one-liners. Are you kidding?
I wanted to be an actress when I was a kid. That's what I thought I would be doing. But I realized pretty early on that I also wanted to have a family, and you really
Yeah,
have to be hardcore dedicated to the craft.
exactly.
I knew myself well enough to know that it was not something that I could halfway do either one of those things. So, but I'm always fascinated about how other people choose that. And I know that you've done a lot of things since then, but we've got a follow up question, which is
Okay.
how did you end up getting the role on The Pit?
I don't know if these guys know this either on the pit. So I don't know if you heard about this but when they sent out their auditions and their instructions, they also had a video from Noah Wiley, and it was if you wanted to go that deep into it and listen to what he had to say, it was up to you. And it was kind of a thing about we're looking for ensemble actors. It's going to be kind of a new thing. He gave you a couple movies and things to look at. MASH and McCabe and Mrs. Miller are two that I remember because I knew those movies really well. He said we're kind of doing that in that style. So we're looking for people who are, really comfortable with an ensemble, experience. And we're going to do this. It was a really great video. I got a lot from it.
That's so cool. We did not know that.
I've never thought about MASH, but man, that fits.
Oh, yeah.
My mother was a hardcore MASH fan, so I grew up watching the movie and the TV show, and I never thought about the parallel, but there's that same sort of kind of a little bit of black humor. I guess there's a lot more humor in MASH, but there's definitely like a vein of that in The Pit with like that heavy dose of reality.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. And McCabe and Mrs. Miller is the most different Western movie you'll ever see in your life. It does not kind of look like a Western, but it's a Western. It's the Western genre because it was just like how the West really was. So that was the thing. I think these are Robert Altman movie. So the Pitt and Noah, they're really into the Robert Altman style. And so that was there. So then, study Robert Altman, look at a few of those things and see what they're doing. I thought that was the hint. So that's what I did. The other thing that was an accident that worked in my favor, I think, is I thought the very first audition notice that I received, I could have sworn, I could be wrong, that it said that this was taking place in a mental hospital. So I thought it was a mental hospital. I knew nothing about any trauma center or anything. I knew nothing about that. So I made Earl a mental patient. And yeah, I don't think people know that.
No, I get it. Like when it's funny, I don't really think I thought a whole lot about it, but when you were just talking about like his personality because of where he was at, I picked up on that. I haven't really
Wow.
thought too much about it, but I absolutely in the back of my mind, he was suffering from at least some level of dementia
or something. Yeah.
Something happened and he's a little off. That's why his social graces are not there.
He's very internal.
Very.
But also funny. I mean, and that's why I think I thought that because he does remind me of several people who I've watched like the progression of dementia. And there is this stage where they are still inherently themselves, but their filter is just gone.
That's what makes them funny. And you're absolutely right, man. That's real important because I knew one thing, whether they said it or not, which they didn't in the audition process, but I knew from the lines, from what was, obviously you could tell, I knew that he had to be funny.
Yeah.
So I had to make him funny too. I
You
knew
did.
that.
You killed it.
But that's what he reminded me of. Like specifically, my great grandmother was kind of who I thought about, who was always a very funny lady. Like that was always part of her personality. But when she started through that progression of dementia, she lost her whole filter. In her right mind, she would be totally fine with us laughing about that.
Exactly.
It just like it was just her with zero social filter anymore. So you did a great job.
I think one of his first lines was, "Hey, pasty white."
I
I didn't
forgot
ad
about
lib
that.
that,
Yeah.
right? They wrote that, man. I'm like, real okay. Like, and I hope Garen takes this well, but Garen's a little light,
Yes.
Yes.
Hey, Garen's kind of white.
Yeah, it was fitting for
Yeah, it
sure.
fit him a bit. So that was the first indication that you knew that this character was not going to be a socially correct, etiquette person.
He was a bookend for Myrna, but we're going to get into that here in a little bit.
Well, before we get deep into your time on the Pit, I got to say you were in one of my all-time favorite movies, which is Copycat.
It was
Oh
such
my
a good movie.
God, Copycat?
I know
Oh,
Yes.
Copycat, and that movie
wow.
was such a great movie and full of phenomenal actors. For those who don't know, Sigourney Weaver, Holly Hunter, Dermot Mulroney, and you played a police officer named Fred who was unfortunately killed off by the insanely well done Peter Foley by Harry Connick Jr. I
Which
just
is
Right.
want to
just crazy
know.
that was Harry Connick Jr.
I
Yeah, Harry
know.
was great, right?
He
Harry was
was.
great. Harry's an underrated actor.
Oh,
I agree.
so much. And I
Yeah.
just want to know, what was it like to be a part of that film?
It was the most wonderful gift that I received from that film. Well, two wonderful gifts all came from Sigourney Weaver. So John Emile, who's a director, is the kind of director where he likes improv. And when you get to the very last word dialogue in the scene, he doesn't say cut. So you have to keep going.
Oh,
And
wow.
I got to do that with Sigourney Weaver. It didn't make it into the film, but I improved and battled and went back and forth with Sigourney Weaver for about 2 hours. I mean, if that's not an acting masterclass that I got paid in, I didn't care that it didn't make it into the movie. I was like, I'm on a different level now just from that. And
That's
then
crazy.
Sigourney Weaver is the type of actress or actor who's number one on the cast sheet. So when you're number one, there's different things. Noah's number one on our cast sheet. He's also an executive producer,
Yeah.
but he still, interacts with everybody. Not every number one on a call sheet interacts with the rest of the cast. So, Sigourney eats with everyone, the cast and crew. She doesn't eat lunch in her dressing room.
Oh, wow.
They have a line load that we don't have. So I understand if you eat in your trailer, I get it. It's not a knock against you, but she doesn't believe in it. Okay, that's her. So because of that, I wander around. Everybody lets Sigourney sit by herself. It's Sigourney. She probably is nice enough. She's sitting out here. Let her have her peace. That's not why she was out there. So Sigourney would usually grab somebody. So one day I'm going, she yells, Hansford. And I didn't even know she knew my name like that. I mean, I knew we were improv and doing all that stuff, but I didn't know if it had any effect on her, if she even knew my name. I thought I was doing a good job. I didn't know. So she says, what are you doing? And I said, I was trying to answer, what am I doing? I'm looking for a place to sit down, to eat. She says, well, come sit here by me, next to me. And I'm like, oh. So I sat next to her, and Sigourney Weaver proceeds to tell me about saving the earth and being a tree sitter and playing Jane Goodall in the movie Gorillas of the Mist,
She did so good in that movie.
and what I should be concerned about this earth that we live on. And it was just like, wow.
And this was back in the 90s, so that's crazy.
Yes, that's who she is. She was a tree sitter as a celebrity before most people were. And I don't know if people know what a tree sitter is. I'm
I do,
assuming
yeah.
that people know. Okay, so that's why I'm not going into it, because I believe people know what a tree sitter is, right? I don't have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. She did this in the Amazon for us because she understood then about protecting the ozone layer in the 90s. So she was sitting in trees in the Amazons, which they ended up cutting down anyway,
Which is dangerous.
which is dangerous. It's
Yeah.
already dangerous anyway. It was
Yeah.
real dangerous. And some of them weren't caring that she was Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah, she could have
She
been
wasn't
killed.
even like that. Right. Exactly. That's who she is. I don't know if I would have had enough courage to do that. I was like, whoa.
I love her. Like I love
Yeah.
her in Alien. I love
Yeah.
her. There's a movie that she did with Amy Poehler and Tina Fey called Baby Mama. That
He's funnier than people think, right? He's funny. He does comedy too.
yeah, but I'm shocked. I guess if I thought, which I didn't, if I thought about it, I would have assumed she was incredibly introverted. I have a lot of respect for
Mm-mm.
that because I think if I
No.
were you and some of the other folks that we've talked to, anybody that I don't know, I just always thought of theater and acting as collaborative. And I feel like that's something that I would struggle with is this idea that there are people that, because they might be higher on the call list, maybe are standoffish or what have you. I never thought about, like you pointed out, that they've got more lines to learn and they might just need peace and quiet. We have heard that Noah is incredibly inclusive for
Right.
somebody as prominent in the show as he is. So I love that that's been your experience too.
That's very cool.
Oh my God. I would come in a day, maybe I hadn't worked a week before. So I'd come in the morning, we would do all the rehearsals and the rehearsal and the blocking rehearsal and the camera rehearsal and then the rehearsal with everyone. So it was like 3 or 4 rehearsals and all that. Then the whole thing, because the pit is hard to coordinate because you have constant moving.
It's like a dance, a choreographed dance.
Yeah, everybody's moving, so it's kind of hard to. So I would see Noah and be like, Noah, what's up, baby? What's up, man? He'd be like Hansford, and we'd hug, and then we would walk like shoulder and shoulder down the hall, getting ready, just talking about how everything's been. Yeah, your week. Oh yeah, man, I did the blah blah blah. Like we're been buddies for 20 years.
And those are the people that you buy in with, like
Yeah,
those are the people that you want to give your all for because
exactly.
they don't make you feel less than. They make
Right.
sure that they make you feel like what you're doing is really important.
And it
Yeah, it has
is.
value.
You look at your character and, you were not number one on the call sheet, but
Yeah,
you
right.
became a standout because every single person in that cast, like there was one actress, the lady who couldn't speak English
Oh, I
and
loved
had her
her.
foot
Yeah,
injured. And
right.
there's a scene that she's watching between Alex Metz and who's your girl? Mandy.
Oh,
Why am I
Lord.
drawing a blank on her
I
name?
know, me too. Starts with an S.
Santos.
Santos. Oh my
And
Lord,
Right.
that was
she
painful.
she has no words, but she is watching an interaction
And it
between
was
them,
so
but she
funny.
stole the scene. And
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
that he gives y'all your due because
Yeah.
without that, the show would be fine, but it would not be as great as it
Yeah.
is. So, well, wow, that's great. That's great.
Here's a secret to the pit, and this is what they meant when Noah meant when he talked about ensemble and everybody, having their moments. So what you're talking about, and maybe there's a question later that has to do with the scene I did with Mateo and Javadi. Is that her?
Oh yeah,
Javadi?
we
Yeah,
got a question about that.
yeah. And I think it fits what I'm going to tell you about that one. So what they do is, sure, the scene is about the two of them, and you're just sort of reacting. And again, I don't have a lot of lines in that scene. Earl's there, he gets a sandwich and all that, so he's cool. So he doesn't need to talk. He's following them.
He's in their drama.
The reason why it stands out, and you're like, oh, she almost stole the scene. And some people almost say maybe sort of the same thing with my character almost in
For
that
sure
scene
they
or
do.
whatever,
Yeah.
And the reason is because they literally put a special on you. They put a camera on you. So you get a camera that's covering you
So
for
it
the
feels like it's
whole
your
scene.
scene.
It's like I never thought that going into the scene until they're like, yeah, B camera is you. I'm like, yeah, so B camera is just on you the whole time and all that. So that's going to get the reactions. So they give you the opportunity
That's
for that.
amazing.
I've never thought this out before, but honestly, like Becky said, I think that this is the key to a lot of the success of the show, because it is supposed to be, I think, this dance between the staff and the people that are needing care that are
Yeah.
there, and how it's almost like a family, or, I
Yeah.
don't know, a shift in everybody's in it together, I guess is what I'm
Yeah.
saying. And they do such a great job of making it not just about the doctors, but also about the people that are there that are making up like this pressure cooker environment.
Yeah.
Mandy, I'm going to skip real quick to question 4 because it's on this topic, and I want to give our loyal listener via Instagram, Wakeboard Girl, who brought up that scene because that was one of the best moments of the entire show. And I'm not saying of the episode, I'm saying of the entire show.
Yeah.
When you were watching Giovanni and Mateo's
Your
awkward
face made it.
conversation,
You were
and
all of us.
she wants to know, how was it acting out that love triangle scene between the two of them?
Well, I'm going to say this. Wow, Shavana's probably going to hate me, but number one, Shavana got the giggles. But
Oh,
so honestly, like, you know how her character, young and poor, and it's like people said, "Oh my God, I fell for her because she was so awkward for her. She was so sort of embarrassed in that and having to act in her." Shabana kind of really was in real life in doing the scene, So
Well,
a lot
it's
of that
awkward.
yeah, that was like,
I got second, third, fourth, and
yeah,
10th level embarrassment for her.
yeah. It's like
yeah,
as women, we've been
yeah,
there. And I was like, girl,
yeah,
but
yeah.
you added, it was a great scene between the two of them, but you made it
You
even
just put the cherry on
better.
top of that Sunday, because again, it's like you were standing in for all of us, sitting there
Yes,
going,
you were all of us. That is a perfect way to describe it.
yeah.
And then Jalen is really like that too, you know. So Jalen was a little embarrassed too with it, just like they both were experiencing what their characters were experiencing for real.
Isn't it adorable being young people?
Yeah, the young scene is kind of, and they don't know. Are they going to try to make us a couple coming up? They don't know because we don't know going forward. So all of that is at play.
And they don't really know each other in real life. And so this is awkward.
That and, and all that. So I felt like as an actor, my job in that was to kind of like, make them comfortable in it. Help make, because I was older.
Okay, yeah.
Aww.
So there was a lot of that I was doing with them, and especially with him, with my boy Jalen, and yeah, man, and I would joke and make stuff, to make him funny and, and do that whole thing.
Just put them at ease.
I think what kind of got him, and this sort of may have given Shabana the giggles too, sort of this, is that I'm going to admit this. I kind of am not a rom-com watcher. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
That's all right. We're both married to men. We know.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So I'm like rom-com. Yeah, I know what that is, but yeah, I'm not really sure. I think rom-com. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go with it. And then the more we went through rehearsals, and then they're like, then they broke out beat camera, and she's got it, and we're getting ready to do this. I was like, you know what? Maybe I better say some shit. So I was like, hey, Noah, because Noah wrote it. And Noah peeks his head back in. He's got the script. He's got the. I said, yeah, man. So, hey, look, Noah, rom-com. So, the hell is that again? Everybody did what you guys are doing.
Yeah, but
right?
They did. That's
And
funny.
Noah literally laughs, holding his stomach, says, oh, Hansford, save it for the scene. Come on, man. Save it for the scene. Yeah. So everybody assumes I'm joking, and I'm like, except for the property master. The prop master slides over, nobody knows, and whispers in my ear, rom-com. And I'm like, yeah, right, sure, yeah, I do that, right, yeah, okay, yeah, let's do it.
Oh, that's funny.
That's amazing. Thank you for that. That was so great.
So, listener Caitlin Cucuzzo via Instagram has sent us a question, and she wrote, "You played a patient who spends a lot of time in the emergency room for frequent visit. Based on what you learned about the experience, what do you wish that we as healthcare providers understood about our frequent flyer patients? I'm personally rooting to see you again this season, hopefully in a better spot."
Wow, thank you so much. I want to thank her for that. What an amazing question. That's the question I told you guys when we were
Yeah,
prepping.
I
It's like,
figured.
Yeah.
you guys have, I read a couple of fans' questions before I came on to do this, and I was like, there's one question that's kind of like hard. It's
Yeah.
layered, it's complicated. It's a great question. Part of playing Earl in the Pit, I drew from, I'm from Oakland, California, by the way, Oakland, Berkeley,
Okay.
California.
Are you a Niner fan?
I'm actually used to be a Raider fan, and that's a whole nother. People in my family are Niner fans. I'm not.
I love them. You tell them I said go Niners. That's my team.
I certainly will, and they're all waiting for Brock Purdy to come back and
Good
all
Lord.
that. So
Oh, Lord. Well, wait, we need
right.
our entire roster to come back.
Yeah, right. I know, and y'all, you're not getting Debo Samuel back, but hey, things are what they are. But
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I digress.
so being in Oakland, California, there's a trauma center hospital that's just like the Pittsburgh Trauma Center Hospital called Highland Hospital. And Highland Hospital, like on Friday and Saturday nights in Oakland, when I was going, that's when the gunshot wounds and stabbing
Uh,
victims and all that come in. And well, Highland Hospital was a hospital you went to when you didn't really have a job, you didn't really have any money, and you had stuff, and you were a guy who maybe getting into things and that kind of stuff, and you may need a hospital real quick. You may need something stitched up, some stitches or something. I'm not going to go into a lot of,
yeah, no, I
but
get you. Yeah.
it was a rough town, during the time. So that's where we went. And so I used that particular hospital experience to guide me through being a patient in the Pit. And some of the things that are there, obviously the Pit touched on were even for a frequent flyer patient, the long wait times, especially in the waiting room. And then you finally going back into triage, trying to get a bed. There's a wait for a bed to be seen by a doctor. And again, I did not know this until I did the Pit. I didn't know there was food available. I'm glad that my character is able to show people that you can ask them for a sandwich or for something. They will give it to you. They have to keep you, fed and hydrated. They'll give it to you if you ask them for it. Bananas, something that they have to give to you. So you can ask for that. You need that. In there, you're in a little gown, so that little room in there, it gets cold. So the comfort level, make sure you got, enough blankets for people, that you're checking in on them to give them an estimate of time of how long things are going to be. And, some kind of update. People are really scared.
Yeah.
So, maybe you can, let them know that everything's okay and you're going to be okay. They can't say that you're fine because they haven't looked at all your records. So they can't do that, but they can kind of assure you, you're in good hands. Everything's going to be whatever's going on. Basically, you're in the right place. You're in the best place you could be in right now. Good for you, and how great that is for you. So it reinforces. It's almost like a verbal hug.
Just to make you feel like you're seen and you haven't been lost, and that you're not just sitting out there lost and no one.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's a great answer. And that was a great question, Caitlin.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's obvious by all the staff knowing who you are that Earl is a frequent flyer in the Pit, but we also know so little about his character. Were you given any backstory for the character? But I think you kind of already answered that. You kind
Yeah.
of came up with your own backstory, right?
Yeah. That's funny. So, and you guys, I don't know how many people you had on the show, and if this question came up, but they're even the series regulars. You can ask them, We did not get a lot of backstory.
Yeah, that's what a lot have said.
Yeah, I don't know how much they got. I got none. So that also includes relationships with other people who you're talking to. I don't know what our relationship is or why they know me like this or why or whatever. Basically, you're just kind of going for it. So you know one thing, you know, whatever you did in the audition, you need to do that. So whatever your head thing was, keep that until somebody tells you something different.
That's smart. It got you there.
So some of the questions I had they didn't have answers for. And they still don't actually, to be honest with you, like, why do I have an IV in my arm? Like there's an IV. So why is he there? Because
Yeah, like why is he there that
why
day?
is he there? I don't know.
You know what's
Still.
funny? The one person that kind of surprised me that he actually did get some backstory was Justin, the brainworm guy. He
Oh,
he told us
yeah,
that they told him that
right.
he had gotten that brainworm because he was in the Merchant Marines.
Yeah, see, he got and I think I could be wrong. I think Myrna got a little backstory,
A little
didn't she?
bit,
A
yeah.
little bit, yeah, she said. But you know who didn't? When we recently interviewed Taj,
Yeah,
he
yeah.
really, when we got into his character and that, very emotional story between him and Robbie, he gave us a lot of insight into what he thought, what he put together with his
Yeah.
backstory and his history with Robbie. That, like, when I went back to watch some of the episodes to, get refreshed on your scenes, it was like,
Mm.
wow, it really added to it. So I love, you guys are phenomenal actors. Every single one of you that we have
Wow,
had a
thank you.
chance to talk to
Thank
have
you.
no idea who you are in this character, and you still sold it. And that's not something a lot of people, I could not walk up on, I'm not a professional, but I could not walk up to anyone and not and try to be somebody else without knowing why. And y'all, I mean, to be able to do
But
that and to do it so well, hats off to all of you.
you know what they said? That's why they hired actors who have stage backgrounds.
So you've been on stage?
I had a stage career in San Francisco before I
Wow.
came to LA for film and television, like a 20-year stage career, actually.
Wow.
So what do you
Yeah.
prefer?
So I started all over again when I came to LA,
What do you
literally.
prefer, theater or television?
I have to answer it this way because things kind of went in a direction. So literally, I prefer stage at first because I was in a town that was stage, San Francisco, at that market. There was television. They had Nash Bridges. A couple movies came in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There weren't real good roles for you. So stage was the thing. And not that you never master anything. I'm not going to sit here and say I mastered stage, but I got comfortable to a degree. I really knew my techniques and very well for stage. And I said, you know what the challenge is now? Television and film. I don't know them as well. Let
Okay.
me challenge myself with that. And that's what I did. And so since television and film were newer and challenges to me, since I've been in LA, I've preferred that more because
Huh.
I'm still learning.
That's
And
awesome.
there's a difference. There's similarities with television and film, and then there's differences and also and
Big
different
differences.
techniques you're using and all that. So I'm really into it because I'm growing as an actor, in these two mediums.
I think that's awesome. I love that because I'm turned 50 this year. Becky's knocking on the door. We're in that middle life period too, where one of the things that's kind of a bummer is that I don't know about you. My mom is turned 70 this year, will be turning 70 this year. And she has been telling me forever, don't waste your time feeling old.
Right.
Or
Right.
we have no control over how long we live.
Right.
But one of the things you do have some control over is your mindset about that. And the people that have the best quality of life for however long we have it here are people that keep learning and keep challenging themselves and keep doing things. So that's a really something I admire, and I look up to you, Hansford, for that. I think that
Mm,
that's a really
thank you.
great mindset to have because it's hard. The older I get, you can already at 50, I can feel like that pull to just be a hermit crab and go inside and not do new stuff, but that's no way to live. So I love
Right.
that you've had this opportunity because you pushed yourself.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
And what greater reward for all of that than to be sitting here with the two of us?
Yeah,
Getting here with Mandy and Becky on the
that's right. You
podcast, baby.
laid it
Yeah.
down, man.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of hard-hitting, hardline questions, I got to know, and I'm pretty sure our listeners will be curious about this too. Just how many sandwiches did you actually have to eat?
So, yeah, that was one scene in particular. Actually, to tell you guys the truth, the harder one than the sandwich. I know everybody's talking about the sandwiches. I'm going to say in one of the scenes that day, and there was a spit bucket. We'll get into that later. But I'm
Oh,
going to say
okay.
but I don't like to utilize the spit buckets too much because I'm into realism. But I did for the chips. But I'm going to say probably about in that scene about 12 sandwiches, maybe the
Whoa.
little, skinny, tiny little sandwich things. So they were little, but yeah, and sometimes I didn't eat the whole one, but we probably did about 12 takes, yeah, of that. Yeah,
So what was on them?
nothing.
Oh, it's just bread?
Bread and meat.
No mayonnaise?
No, well, I would take mustard, but no, because they had to, there's a reason they have to keep that really simple for lots of reasons. And also, the sandwiches aren't the craft services department.
Oh, that's like prop. That's wild.
That's
Huh.
props. So yeah, you ain't getting nothing tasty coming out of prop. They got to keep it simple because there's a whole bunch of them. They got to be, fresh, and they have to be, and they can't make these sandwiches and put all this on them and make them tasty. And then you get into, and now you got mayonnaise or mustard sticking to the roof of your mouth a little bit, or
That makes
so
sense.
yeah.
I'd be spitting that shit out too. I'm not trying to eat no dry ass turkey sandwich with no
No, if it
mayonnaise or
doesn't have
mustard on
mayonnaise
it.
on it, don't give it to me.
Well, they'll have that spit bucket for you if you ask for it. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I probably would have been. So Becky and I have our own fan fiction where Earl and Myrna end up in a romance together, and we're both hoping that that plays out in season two. Jeanette's already told us that she hasn't got the call up yet, but we've still got our fingers crossed. And there is an entire article from Screen Rant written by Sean Morrison that's dedicated to the mystery of Earl. What you as Earl brought to the show and the hopes that we get to see you again. So can you tell us, is Earl going to come back? Is that something you could talk about?
Number one, that was a great article by Sean Morrison. You mentioned who is one of their top writers, I believe, at Screen Rant,
Yes.
and so that was totally not from the show. That was from him, his interest in Earl, which was like, wow.
That's what you did.
Yeah, I have to say. And as you guys know from dealing with everybody on the show and dealing with everything, they do not let us say anything.
Okay.
All right. Respect.
No, that's okay.
They tell us very little, and then what we do know, they tell us we can't say anything.
So we'll just have to hold tight.
Grab Noah and ask him and make him answer that question.
We have been trying to grab Noah. You tell Noah to call us.
Noah's busy. Noah's busy, huh?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
He's got a lot going on. Well, until we see you on the screen again, just know that in our minds, we already have you and Myrna shacked up, eating sandwiches together.
And now that we know for sure that Earl has some cognitive decline issues and Myrna's got some larcenous issues, I'm now have fleshed this out that she is your sugar mama.
Right.
She's taking care of you going out and stealing from department stores.
I think we have a spinoff.
Lots of fans of, with Screamer Red and all that have really written in about that particular thing. It sounds like that's literally what they want to see. I
Yes.
kid you
If
not.
they had a spinoff of you two, your two
Yeah, that's
characters,
what
I
people are
would watch
saying.
that.
Let me tell
Yeah.
you, when the hospital went on lockdown after the mass shooting, and Mandy and I were doing our coverage of that episode, I had a whole thing where Myrna went up in like Die Hard, Bruce Willis in Die Hard. Myrna was in the ventilation system. She took
Oh my
out the
God.
shooter, and then the
Wow.
two of you afterwards are in locked away together in a hospital room, just eating
Yeah.
sandwiches and
Eating
loving each
sandwiches.
other.
Yeah.
That's where your and Myrna's story went for me at the end of the season.
You forgot, but some people, while she took them out, she also took out the character that my friend Drew played.
Oh,
Uh,
Doug Driscoll.
Doug Driscoll,
You
right,
and
right, right, right,
Drew are
right, right.
friends in real life? That is hot tea right there.
Actually, what happened is he's really good friends with Noah in real life.
Is he a nice man?
I met Drew on the set doing that and just became friends with him from that. I didn't know him before then, but he's such a opposite guy of that character, which shows you what a great actor he is.
Yeah,
He's a wonderful guy to have on any set. He's like a big teddy bear.
Y'all had a great scene in that waiting room.
that was good. I loved it when you gave it to
It was
him.
hard. He didn't know anything about it like most of us until he read the script and he went, "What? They got me doing that? Wait a minute. I didn't see that coming. Wait a minute."
Yeah.
Yeah, he said, "I didn't see that coming."
You know, he did a great job, but
He did.
honestly, like knowing that he is a super nice guy in real life, that
Right.
makes me feel a bit for him because I know to
Right.
play somebody like that when you
Yeah.
are a kind person, like it takes a toll on you
And people will
Yeah.
be mean to you like you
in
are
real
that
life.
character.
Yeah.
That's hardcore.
He's got to be careful going to Ralph's, because,
Yeah.
right? Seriously. I
I
mean,
believe you. Yeah.
it's the truth.
People will
Yeah.
say like you did it, like he was that really that guy,
Yeah.
and yeah.
I see people in Ralph's and I see people in there and they go, "Oh my God, is that Earl? Oh my God." So I don't have to worry about it because if people recognize me, they all love her. Nobody's mad at her.
Right. They're not
Right.
wanting to talk to you
Yeah.
about punching Dana in the face.
Yeah, right. They love Dana. They love Catherine,
That was a
Dana.
tough scene to watch.
Oh man, yeah, it was tough for her to do. I think she said it was tough for her to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Drew.
Oh, I imagine.
Yeah.
Well, the last question that we have for you is, I mean, this show is packed full of such an amazing group of people. And was there anyone that you enjoyed working with the most? And do you have a favorite moment on set?
Okay, this is gonna be interesting and tricky. I love working with everybody. I probably enjoyed working with Drew the most because of how we sort of bonded, and then
Oh,
our characters didn't know each other, and me and Drew didn't really know what was going on. We didn't know why we were talking to each other. Literally, why our characters were fucking talking. So we had to, we created things not by talking to each other and saying, doing it. He created his thing, I created mine. And we were sort of on the same page with it. And we talked about it later, like, wow, man, it's cool. We kind of vibed that out. So probably Drew. And then wait, was it my favorite moment? I don't know if I want to call this favorite, but it's something that sticks out in my mind a lot. I have a real phobia about rats, and
Oh,
oh,
I heard there was going to be a rat scene, and it was a rumor that was coming before we got scripts. And I said, I know they ain't gonna put the black man in the rat scene because brothers don't like rats, man. We ain't. They not cute to us. So hey, I don't know. I can't speak for every black man and black people out there, but
Michael
I
Jackson
can
liked
speak.
rats. He had a
Yeah,
whole
Michael
song about
Jackson
it.
was an outlier.
Yeah, that
Exactly,
is
right? Michael
true.
Jackson was
That is
different.
true.
Exactly.
For
You ain't gonna
sure.
find a lot of name me 5 brothers you know that love rap. Name me
Yeah.
3.
Actually, that and the guy from the Key and Peele skit that
Oh my
that
God.
had Ratatouille. That's it. Those are the only
right, see,
two.
that's 2 guys, and I challenge the audience to find me another guy. So I read the script. The script came, and sure enough, yeah, there's rats. It's gonna be a whole big rat thing, and then I was like, oh, they have me in that scene. Oh, come on, man. No, why would they have me? Oh, come on, man. I mean, that may not go good. I don't like them. So we get to Rat Day, right?
Rat
And
Day.
everybody's excited. Hey, and people said to me with excitement, hey, Hansford, the rats are here. I'm like, yeah, that's said it like, hey, Christmas is here. I didn't understand why it was said like that. Like, why are you excitedly saying it?
You know they give the plague.
Well, so here's the deal. So they were like, so when they called everybody in, they said, hey, everyone who's in the scene with the red, whether you're going to be interacting with them or not, we have the rest. They're back here, and what we're gonna do after we, go through blocking and blah 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 is we're gonna bring the rats out, and you guys, get acclimated to the rats and meet them.
Oh
You're like, no, I'm good.
I'm like, who?
no.
Whoever wants to. And I'm like, I sure ain't gonna be a part of that. Oh hell no! Oh my god!
I would have. I actually
So
like rats.
see,
I would have played with
well,
one too.
well, you would have, so you would love this. So, we went through, I didn't go through it. So afterwards, I was like, yeah, so how was it meeting the rats and having the rat acclimation thing? Oh, they were so cute. It was so, I was like, what the heck? So here's why I got a little respect for them, is I noticed this. I was like, wow, they are hitting a mark and they're not moving. We've had some actors who have trouble hitting their mark. The rats were hitting their mark. If the rats hit the floor, and that rats are going to scatter.
Right.
But these are trained rats, and they couldn't have them scattering all over the place. They had the scatter part. I think they had to generate that. But the rats, they needed them to hit the floor and stay where they were. So do you know how they got them to do that?
Uh-uh.
This is how you train a rat. Peanut butter.
That makes sense.
That
Peanut
makes
butter is
perfect
their thing.
sense.
Not so much cheese. We all know cheese. It's peanut butter. So don't leave open bottles of peanut butter in your
Oh God,
cabinets.
no. No. I do like rats and rodents in general. I don't like ones that just hop up on me in the wild. Like I need to know that they've
Right,
had their
sure,
shots and all that
sure.
stuff.
These were trained. They were 8 that they bought, but the rat wrangler, yeah, that's actually a term. They're rat wranglers. And I think they've been in the business, their family, for years. They had the rats for Willard and Ben and all those movies that you ever seen, and Fruit of the Gods, any movie that needed lots of rats. So they're the rat trainers since the 70s or something. I think they have like 800 rats, something
Holy
like that are
cow.
trained.
That's amazing.
So they eat, they feed them on, they have a diet and all that. So it's different. Like you said, Mandy, you're right. They're not from the wild or anything like that. They're raised by these people and, right,
They're
right.
actors and like other animal actors.
They're actors that know how to hit their mark.
So two phrases that I didn't think I would ever hear today were rat wrangler and rat acclimation day. Like I'm glad we got to talk about both of those things. Those are exciting.
See, when you bring the actors on, you find this stuff out.
That's why I love talking to you guys. It's always something interesting. But I do actually have one more question before we
Okay.
move on. Where your name, Hansford, is such an amazing name.
It is
Where did it come
great.
from?
Thank you. Yeah, so my mother deserves the credit for this. So I was born in St. Louis, Missouri, and there was a man there named Hansford. I mean, they said he was from Germany or something, and he had this influence on his community. And so this lady named her son Hansford. And Hansford, who was the little brother of my mother's best friend, Ann King. So Hansford was her brother. He wanted somebody named after him. My mother liked the name. So my mother named me that after him, but she liked the name.
I love it. Did you ever have a nickname?
Yes, Hans. So that's
Okay.
it. It's a derivative of Hansford, and I won't tell you the other one because I didn't like it. So I beat people up, and I made it stop. So when I became grown and all that, and I'm like, hey, Hansford's a German name, and the German people was not. It's not German. It's not. And then it was like, well, it's a Swedish name or something. No, it's not. I was like, wow, all this stuff. What kind of name is it? So I researched. You research your name. It's fascinating. You guys are gonna find it's very interesting. So Hans or Hans part of it. So they are from two different countries. One's from Germany, one is from Sweden or whatever. So they're different. So Hans literally means John. It translates to John, Hans. Ford translates literally to fjord, Fjord. It's what Ford is. Fjord is a river.
Uh-huh.
So you get John at the river. So what John was at the river? John the Baptist.
I love it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's what.
Right.
Very cool. Mandy, I'm
Yeah.
glad you
Yeah.
asked that question.
Me too.
Thank you. Thank you for asking it. Exactly. Right.
You should be proud of that. And honestly, your mom had great taste.
Thank you.
I don't understand people giving their kids these names that are like you can't spell them or pronounce them
No,
or whatever. So that to me is like
I
the
hear you.
perfect kind of name.
It works to my advantage because when people see a name, Hansford Prince, they automatically assume that they're going to be dealing with somebody really intelligent.
Yeah.
So it helped, when I go in, I
Yeah.
walk into a thing and it's like, hey, I already have that thing going. So all I have to do is not be stupid. And
Your
I'm
mother
going to be
obviously
good.
was an intelligent woman and planned that out.
Yeah.
We had these kids that used to go to the gym, nursery at the gym, and there were three little boys, and their mama named them Slayer, Striker, and Stealth. The hell is
Oh,
gonna let their
wow.
daughter date somebody named Striker?
Yeah.
Like,
I bet you she goes to the gun range every
I
week.
100% think that she's got like a full-time
Yeah.
membership.
For
Yes, she
sure.
does. Yeah. She can handle hand grenades. I hate to run, but I just got a message on my phone from my agent that audition I was just telling you guys about that I just did earlier. I have check avail on, so I have to let them know that I'm able to do it. So I guess they
Oh,
want to book
sure.
me for this. So you guys gave me luck.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's
awesome.
awesome. Yeah, we're your
Yeah.
good luck charms.
One of our listeners wrote us a sweet little note to tell you. So if we could just tell you that before you go.
Oh,
Her name is Linda Morrison, and she's one of our loyal listeners. And she said, I don't have a question. I just want to say that she really enjoyed your character. She loved the way you were entertained watching that scene with Giovanni flirt with Mateo. And she said you brought a lot of fun to the show. So
wow. Could you tell me her name again?
her name is Linda Morrison.
Linda Morrison. Well, I want to say thank you to Linda Morrison, and she's a good. I'm available, to fans. So I really appreciate that. She can follow me on Instagram at Hansford Prince, actor, writer. The other fans are welcome to follow me on Instagram at Hansford Prince, actor, writer. Some people, if they have questions, and things like that, I will answer their questions and get back to them.
Well, we'll make sure to post that link to your social media in our show notes so everyone can find you. And thank you again so much for talking with us. It means the world to us and our listeners. And we know you're busy, but you are welcome back here anytime.
Oh.
If all this that's going on in the background works out and you want to come on and talk about a new project or whatever, you just let us know, okay?
Just shoot us a message.
Absolutely.
We'd love you to come back on, but if you just want us to like plug something for you in the future, just shoot us a message and let us know.
Yeah, please let us know.
Absolutely. We have to do a part 2, and then you guys have to get on Scott and John Wells and Noah and say, Earl got to be back, baby.
Earl
Yeah.
and Myrna. I need
Earl
it.
and Myrna, baby. Y'all know Earl and Myrna have to come back. They got to come back.
Thanks, Hansford.
Thank you so
Thank you, Mandy.
much.
Thank you, Becky.
Talk to you
Appreciate
soon.
Bye-bye.
you guys. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, that was amazing.
That was a lot of fun. Anyway, all right. Well, a little bit of a change of plans. Hansford had to hop off there, but that was an amazing interview, and we had such a great time, and we really appreciate him being on here with us. Next up, we're going to be covering episode 2 of HBO Max's Welcome to Derry.
Dun, dun, dun.
We got in trouble. All right.
Well, thank you everyone so much for listening. I'm Becky.
And I'm Mandy.
We'll catch you next week when we grab the remote and see what's on tonight. Bye.